Zealoters, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. They want us to believe the Sahel is fracturing. But the truth is far different. Right now, social media is flooded with a viral image that critics are using to try and dismantle the credibility of the Sahel Alliance, AES. If you go to X right now, you will see accounts with millions of followers, including Western politicians, mocking our all-in-all Captain Ibrahim Traore. They are running a synchronized narrative, claiming that Burkina Faso just turned it back on its core values by signing a major agreement with Israel. They are calling Captain Ibrahim Traore a fake Pan-Africanist and an imperialist puppet. This narrative is exploding because it happened right after Burkina Faso cut diplomatic ties with France, giving the illusion that one Western power was simply being replaced by another. But this entire media storm is a carefully manufactured lie. When you look at the raw facts, this is not a story of betrayal. It is a story of how the international media weaponized basic state protocol to confuse the African continent. Let us completely dismantle this fake news with hard facts. First, Burkina Faso did not sign any new agreement with Israel. Second, Israel does not even have an ambassador or an embassy building inside Burkina Faso. So, who is the man in the viral photo? And why was he meeting with our all-in-all the savior, Captain Ibrahim Traore? To understand this, you have to look at the practical reality of regional diplomacy. The man is actually the Israeli ambassador to Ivory Coast, because many foreign nations do not maintain our physical embassy buildings in every single African country. They use a regional hub system. This specific ambassador is stationed in Abidjan, but his diplomatic mandate requires him to oversee his country's regional affairs across Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, and Togo. Whenever a new ambassador takes over a regional post, international law dictates a strict protocol. They must travel to the neighboring countries to physically hand over their letters of credence to the heads of state. This is a standard routine procedure that has been happening for decades. It happened during the era of Thomas Sankara, and it happens today. It is administrative formality required to manage the foreign citizens living within those borders. It is not an alliance. It is not a partnership, and it is absolutely not a treaty.
Burkina Faso has signed a new agreement with Israel. We all know what Israel is currently doing to the Palestinian people, the apartheid against the Palestinians. And do not forget that the Palestinian struggle is the same as our struggle with the Africans and with the black people. That is why majority of us stand with the Palestinians, because what happens to us and what is happening to us even today in 2026, that is what is happening to the Palestinian people. For example, when you look at Sudan, when you look at other African countries. So why in the Hague, under Captain Ibrahim Traore's government, they will sign an agreement with Israel, by the way, to become so close to the apartheid nation. The same time also, 3 days ago, Burkina Faso decided that they are going to cut diplomatic ties with France, which means that you are kicking the other one out and you are inviting the other one in. If you go to X, this is what people are talking about. accounts with millions of followers, politicians from the Western world and other parts of the world are tweeting these things, mocking Captain Ibrahim Traore, saying that he is a fake Pan-African, he is a fake imperialist, something like that, because he invited an Israeli ambassador to sign some agreements with them. I am here to debunk these things. This is a nonsense. This is a fake news. It is not something true. There is no Israeli ambassador in Burkina Faso. Let me say these things. There is no Israeli ambassador to Burkina Faso. The Israeli ambassador that went to Burkina Faso, this happens always, even before Captain Ibrahim Traore will came to power in Burkina Faso, even under Captain Thomas Sankara. Now, this ambassador of Israel who went to Burkina Faso and met with Captain Ibrahim Traore, he is the Israeli ambassador to Ivory Coast in Cote d'Ivoire. Now, as an Israeli ambassador to Ivory Coast in Cote d'Ivoire, he is also looking after his people, which are in Burkina Faso, but also in Togo, which means that whenever there is a new ambassador from Israel to Cote d'Ivoire and Ivory Coast, then this new ambassador will take the responsibility to look after Israeli people in that region, to be specific in Burkina Faso and in Togo. That is why that ambassador went there to meet Captain Ibrahim Traore, because there was a change in ambassadors. So the new one will also have to provide some of the documents that he thinks he can work with those countries. Now, this here is the United Nations database. Even in 2025, Captain Ibrahim Traore's government voted against Israelis' apartheid. Against the Palestinian people, which means that whatever Israelis are doing to the Palestinian people, the state of Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traore, they strongly condemned it. So meeting with this Israeli ambassador does not mean that he is in support of Israel or he is inviting them. There is no Israeli ambassador to Burkina Faso, and the government of Burkina Faso did not sign any agreement with Israel. So the people who are tweeting these things, trying to mock Captain Ibrahim Traore, these people are the enemies. That is why it is very, very important that, you look up to the news stats where you also get your news source from. Beside that, they want us, we the African, to butcher our good leaders, just like Captain Ibrahim Traore right now. There is no relationships, there is no relations between Burkina Faso and Israel. Nothing was also signed. This is just a normal procedure between countries, diplomatic ties. This does not mean that they have a good relationship. No, they did not have any good relationship. Captain Ibrahim Traore support the Palestinian struggle. He has said it once and again, But he also met with diplomats or ambassadors from countries like Tanzania, even in Saudi Arabia and other countries, This is something that has just been happening even before Captain came to power. Now, this does not mean that, you support someone. For instance, I can meet with someone because of my personal interest, but this does not mean that I support them of what they are doing. No, the government of Burkina Faso is always against what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people. And the struggle of the Palestinian people is the struggle of we the black people. So again, long life to the Palestinian people and long life to the black people and the African people on the continent. We all have the same struggle. So Burkina Faso did not sign any agreement with Israel, and Israel do not have any ambassador in Burkina Faso as well. So it is a fake news. Let us support our leaders in the Sahel regions, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and long life to Captain, long life to the Sahel leaders.
The true foreign policy of a nation is not measured by a standard photo opportunity. It is measured by how that nation votes when the entire world is watching. If you look at the official United Nations Watch database, Burkina Faso record under the current government is entirely flawless. In the General Assembly votes, Burkina Faso has consistently voted 100% against Israeli policies regarding Palestine. Even throughout recent global conflicts, Captain Traore, all in all, government has repeatedly voted to support Palestinian self-determination and has strongly condemned regional apartheid. So, the narrative that Captain Ibrahim Traore is a fake Pan-Africanist chasing out other foreign powers and bringing in others is not true. And do you know why? They are trying to use this to counter the narrative and to change the perception of the African, because all their weapons that they have used against the African aren't working, including their military. So, this is an opportunity, because seeing is believing, and because majority of the African do not research. When we see a picture like this, especially with a letter which we do not have access to the context, makes it very easy to be deceived. So, as an African, it is time for you to always look beyond what is presented. For decades, this has been the way they keep the African, because they know we don't research. We go by what we see. And that is why, even today, we those who are living in our own continent with the riches, believe we live on the survivor of the aids that other people give to us in the name of partnership. Yet, the African do not know how powerful, how richer we are. So you sit here and you are thinking about leaving all the riches and moving outside of the continent, because we are brainwashed and we are told the riches are found there. But the more we are living, the more they come. And let's ask ourselves, how can people living on paycheck to paycheck, how can people living entirely on credit be the ones that will be giving us aids? But because of the lack of information available on our part and the lack of the willingness to research, to know what is happening around us, has made the African to be under the control and influence of the rest of the world. But the time has come for us to rise up. Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, Abdurrahmane Chiani will never disappoint any of us. But one thing we need to ask, why are they always bent on showing what is happening in the Sahel and not our democratic elected leaders, especially those changing constitutions to remain in office forever? Why are they always looking for faults in the Sahelian leaders? Even when there is none, they try to fabricate. But the time has come that you, the African, will know that this shouldn't be a tool, because we are in information age. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and Europe.